What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another football video, and I am so excited. I'm going to be starting a new weekly segment. I'm going to have Kid Blue, one of my favorite guys on YouTube, huge Giant fan, on every week. We're going to do our weekly picks, not just straight up, but against the spread. Of course, we're going to tell you who's winning, but we're going to be picking against the spread to make it more challenging. We'll be doing our records every week, and we'll see who does better this year. It should be a lot of fun. What is going on, Kid Blue?
What's going on, Chris? Thank you for having me, man. I'm really excited.
Yeah, thank you for thanking me, man. Also, I should make note that we are going to give you our 3 locks of the week. So the 3 games we are most sure of at the conclusion of the video. So stick around for that as well. And are you ready? Have you done your study?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Always, always.
You
I
ready to
breathe
go,
football.
You,
I breathe football, man.
you ready to go, buddy? All right, we are going to start
Let's
off.
do it.
We are going to start off with the Packers at Chicago, opening up the season tomorrow in Chicago. Bears favored by 3 against the Cheeseheads. What's your thoughts on this game?
Well, first off, there's no better way to start off the season than Bears Packers, man. I'm excited for this game. The Packers, everybody is saying, that they're sleepers, for a playoff run in the NFC North. I just don't see them fixing all their problems yet. And I know Chicago took a little bit of a step back, just a little bit, as far as their team goes right now. But I'm probably going to have to take the Bears to win the game and cover the spread, the 3-point spread. I just don't think Green Bay is going to keep up with Chicago.
Yeah, this is a tough spread for me because I actually really like the Packers this year. I really do. I like what they did with that with the defense over there. They got a guy from the Bears in Amos. They added Zadarius Smith. They added Preston Smith. I like a lot of the moves they made. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be very dedicated this year. I think he really wants to bounce back this year, and he's my pick for the MVP. However, this is kind of a revenge game. You remember last year, Week 1, Chicago took on the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers, I think, scored 3 touchdowns in like the last 10 minutes or whatever. Got him to come back. The Bears at home, I think the spread's perfect. I think it's going to be a push. I think the Bears are going to win by 3, but if I'm going to pick a team here, I'll go Bears. I say they narrowly cover the spread at home. I'll go Chicago by 4 points. I don't like this game if you're betting it, but if I got to pick it, I'll go Bears.
Yeah, definitely not a lock here. You should definitely not lock this game.
Next game up, I think, is one of the best games on the schedule this week. It's 2 teams that I'm looking to potentially bounce back from last year. You got the Atlanta Falcons at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are favored by 4.5. What's your thoughts on this one, Kid Blue?
Minnesota's defense is always good, and it's probably even better now. But Atlanta, it's a tough team because Atlanta has a lot of great players on offense and defense, but they get hurt. They have the injury bug every single year. They could have done something last year, got hurt. And this is going to be a tough task for Atlanta going to Minnesota. But I think Minnesota, I'm really high on Minnesota this year. Not so much Kirk Cousins, but the team all around. So I think at home, they're going to come out in their home opener, and I think they're going to do a number on the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to take the Minnesota spread, my 4.5. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a great game. A great storyline here. 2 bounce-back teams. The Vikings were my pick to go to the Super Bowl last year going into the season. Really a lot of talent. I like that team a lot. Great defense. They bring in Josh Doxson, underrated pickup. Really like that they were able to get him from the Redskins. Kind of wanted our Giants to go after him.
Oh, yeah.
But I like them. I don't like Kirk Cousins like you said, but it's not a primetime game. We all know he struggles in the bright lights. Atlanta had a ton of injuries last year. They're definitely better than their 6-10 record, I think it was. High-scoring game, I could see for sure, even though the Vikings do have a good defense. 4.5, but at home. I'm going to take the Falcons. I think the Falcons keep it close, but the Vikings win. I'm going to say the Vikings win by 3, but I'm going to take the Falcons getting the 4.5 points. By the way, I should have mentioned earlier in the video, if after the video, please subscribe to Kid Blue. The link will be in the description below. He's got a great channel over there. Love his channel. Absolutely love his channel.
Appreciate it, man. Always. Thank you.
Next game we got up are 2 teams that we're not too fond of, our NFC East rivals. We've got the Redskins traveling to Philadelphia. Eagles, I think it's the biggest spread of the week, if I'm not mistaken. Favored by 9.5. I can't stand these teams. What's your thoughts?
Well, to be honest, I think the 9.5 points is too much. Even though I know Washington is probably not going to be anything this year, but they always play Philadelphia tough, no matter what, really. And I think it's too much of a spread. And I like the Washington Redskins roster. I think it's very underrated. So I think while they're healthy right now, sort of, I mean, they still have problems, with health. But as of right now, as their roster stands right now, I'm going to give them a shot, not to win it, but to keep it close with Philadelphia. I think Washington may come out and do a little something. I like how their defense looks right now, but their offense with Case Keenum and all these other guys that nobody really cares about on the offensive side of the ball. But I think they could keep it close. I'm going to take Washington with the points at 9.5.
But you like the Eagles to win?
Yes, I like the Eagles to win.
Okay, so I'm going to agree with you. I don't like this Redskins team. I think Keenum's going to start, obviously. Haskins is not ready. They don't have a lot of weapons, but I agree with you. They're strong defense. I think they can keep it close enough on the road that they don't lose by 10 points. I think it'll be like a 7-point win for the Eagles. If you remember last year, Eagles came out a little sluggish. Carson Wentz coming back off that injury. May take him a couple of weeks to get back to where he was. I could see the Eagles coming out a little sluggish this week. They got a lot of new parts to the team. May take them a couple of weeks to hit their stride. So that's why, I think the Redskins keep it fairly close, but the Eagles win.
Yes, completely agree.
All right. Next game we've got up. We've got our brothers, the New York Jets, at home against the Buffalo Bills. A good AFC East rivalry here. Two teams that I think really improved their teams this offseason in free agency. Interesting game here. Jets at home, favored by a field goal. I want to know what you think about this game.
I think there's another situation where it's a perfect spread. I think this is going to be a close game. I love what Buffalo did in the offseason. They had a very good draft. I love what they did with the offensive line. They turned that offensive line from like worst to it should be top 15. Something like that. I love that offensive line, what they're doing there, giving weapons to Josh Allen. I think he's going to have a better season than he did in his rookie season, developing as a quarterback. I'm still not a biggest fan of Josh Allen. I really don't like him, but I think he'll be a little better this year. The Jets. As far as their preseason goes, I know people don't like to look at the preseason too much, but they've been looking good. Their starting offense really looked good in the preseason, and I think Sam Darnold's starting to hit his stride a little bit. He's gonna be a lot better than last season. I think he's really gonna show that he's the franchise quarterback for the New York Jets. And coming out here at home against their division rivals, I think the Jets are gonna take care of the Buffalo Bills. I think it still will be close. There'll probably be about five point difference in that game, but I'm gonna take the Jets. -3.
So the Jets cover the spread there. Just like you said, another game I would not touch. If I'm in Vegas, if I'm betting, I'm not touching this game. I think it's a perfect spread. The Bills have one of the best defenses in football. They have one of the best defenses last year.
Yes, I forgot to mention that, the defense.
Top 5 in the league last year. They have a very good defense. The offensive line, you hit it right on the head. They're going to go from one of the worst to right around average, which is a huge jump. They brought in 6 new offensive linemen in free agency.
Yes.
Cole Beasley, a nice pickup. They also brought in the who's the burner they brought in, the wide receiver?
John Brown?
Yeah, John Brown. So they added some weapons there on the offensive end. The defense was strong to begin with. You figure Josh Allen, I'm much like you. I'm not a huge fan of his. I think the Giants do have to look out for his scrambling ability week 2, though. We always struggle with that. He can make plays with his legs, and with the improved offensive line, the weapons, they did lose McCoy, but I didn't expect much from him this year anyway. I want to say 3 is perfect. I really don't want to make a pick in this game. Because the Jets are at home, I'll pick the Jets to win by 4. So I'll agree with you on that one. I'll take the Jets as well. But that game could go either way. Could easily see the Bills winning that game. Next game up. On the road, we've got the Ravens taking on the Miami Dolphins, a big favorite for a road team. Ravens are favored by a touchdown on the road in Miami. What's your thoughts on this game?
To be honest, I like the spread because I think Baltimore's their defense is still great. They lost a couple of players like it was Darius Smith, right?
That's Smith, CJ Mosley.
That one, and then T. Sizzle. They lost some guys on that defense. I think they'll bounce back. They'll be fine on defense. They're well coached. But Miami, dude. Miami, I'm struggling to see them winning any games this year. They're really bad. So I have to take Baltimore. Now, the only thing that keeps me back a little bit could be, Lamar Jackson. I'm not the biggest fan of his as a passer. I know he can do a lot, athletically. But I'm not confident in Lamar Jackson, but I still think they're going to win this game pretty handedly. I just don't think Miami's defense is ready for Lamar Jackson, a threat that he is on in the air and on the ground. So I'm going to take Baltimore -7, but it's very close. I could easily take Miami +7 if they keep it close, if they figure out Lamar Jackson. But Baltimore should handle them.
What the hell is going on in Miami? This team
Oh,
goes out.
man.
They trade assets to acquire Josh Rosen. Then they trade away his best offensive lineman. They
And
trade away one of
they're
his
starting Ryan Fitzpatrick.
and they're starting Fitzpatrick. They trade away Kenny Stills. What the hell is going on in Miami? They have no talent over there. I agree with you. As much as I hate picking a road favorite by 7, that's a lot on the road. I got to go with the Ravens. They still have a top 10 defense at worst. They still have a playmaker at quarterback, even though I don't love him. That Dolphins, I could play quarterback. I'm going to put up 3 touchdowns on that team. That team is horrible. They're the worst team in the league. They'll be lucky if they win 3 games this year. And I can't. I got to go Ravens. I think the Ravens win by at least 10 points. Won't be one of my locks. A little teaser there because I don't like road teams. But Ravens, yeah, I got to go Ravens. Dolphins are so bad.
You would think a rebuilding team that has nothing to play for right now would start their quarterback to develop him, right? The young quarterback. Instead, they start a 35-year-old quarterback who's way past his prime, if he even had a prime, and they start him instead. It's ridiculous.
It makes no sense.
Ridiculous.
To me. It makes no sense to me.
Sad days in Miami. Sad days.
Yes, they're going nowhere fast. Next game we got up is a pick'em game. This was an interesting one to me. The San Francisco 49ers, they got Garoppolo back, and they're going on the road to Bruce Arians, the new coach over there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Should be a fun game. Who do you like in this one?
I like San Francisco, and I don't think it's going to be that close. Now, I know Tampa Bay is infamous for starting well in the season. They're infamous for beating New Orleans early on in the season. But this is the type of game I think San Francisco is going to come out and show what they've built. I mean, they've added a lot of guys on the offense and defense. They have a good running game. They have Jerick McKinnon back from injury. Matt Breida still well. Hopefully Jimmy Garoppolo stays healthy if he does. They added D Ford. I mean, Nick Bosa. I mean, they added just a bunch of freaking guys on that team. So I think, their expectations that we think of them right now is going to show in week 1. I think they're going to handle Tampa Bay pretty handily. So I'm going to take them here in the pick'em.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Although I do think Tampa's going to be able to put up points. They had a good offense last year to begin with. Now they bring in arguably one of the top 5 offensive minds in the sport. I like Bruce Arians a lot. So I think he's going to do wonders over there. I still don't like Jameis Winston. But I really like what the 49ers did this offseason. I'm not quite as high as some people. I hear some people like Josh tell me they can win 11, 12 games on the Sports Fury. I'm not going to go that crazy. But I think they're going to be much improved. And I like Breida a lot, like you said. Did McKinnon get hurt? I think he got hurt.
He got hurt again?
I could be wrong. I thought I heard that.
Oh, man, I'm about to say that's...
I could be wrong.
He could. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
But either way, even if he's hurt, they still have sufficient running backs back there. I like Kittle a lot, obviously, one of the best tight ends in the sport, if not the best. Deebo Samuel, not too sure is he with the first team or not, but either way, I think they have a lot of weapons on the offensive end. Garoppolo was great with them before he went down last year. 5 great starts. Everybody loves this kid. He's just got to stay in the football field, and the defense was so improved. Whether it be the draft, whether it be free agency with D Ford, Bosa, they got a 2-headed monster there with the pass rush. They already had a pretty good secondary to begin with. I just think the 49ers are a much better team, even though it's on the road. I am going to take the 49ers in that game in the pick. I'm completely with you on that one as well. So far, we agree a lot, it looks like.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay is going to have a really, really tough day with that San Francisco defensive line, man. I mean, their backup players are great. I mean, they're just stacked on the defensive line. Tampa Bay has a real challenge against them as far as the offensive line goes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a game. Next game we've got up. This is an interesting game to me. Chiefs on the road going to Jacksonville. Chiefs favored by 4 on the road in Jacksonville. Who do you like in this one?
I was surprised that the spread was this low. Now I think Vegas is starting to drink the Kool-Aid on Jacksonville a little too much here, but we can't forget Kansas City was one of the best teams in the NFL last year. And before I checked on ESPN yesterday, the spread was at 2.5, and I was like, that can't be. I can see Kansas City not blowing them out, but win by a decent number, maybe by 7 or 8 points. So I don't think this is fair at all. I think Kansas City deserves more as far as the spread goes. Now Kansas City to me didn't change too much. I believe they still have Tyreek Hill if I'm not mistaken. They switched to a 4-3 defense, so maybe that's gonna struggle with them a little bit, but I think they'll be okay. Jacksonville is much improved. I'm happy with what Jacksonville is doing. It's going to be a tough task to face the AFC runner-up here in week 1 at home, but I'm going to take Kansas City with the points, man.
We're gonna disagree on this one.
Oh wow,
Yeah, we're gonna disagree.
wow.
We're gonna disagree on this one.
Okay.
Not because I'm buying a little bit into the Jacksonville hype. I don't think they're gonna win this game. I'm taking Kansas City to win it,
Okay.
but I think they're gonna keep it close. I'm buying into the Jacksonville hype a little bit. I like that defense. I think they're coming back. I love the Josh Allen pick, even though he didn't look great in preseason. Nick Foles, great acquisition there compared to what they had. I mean, you're going from Blake Bortles, to Nick Foles, and hopefully Fournette's back. They said that he looks healthy, so I like that, and I think the Chiefs' defense is mediocre at best, and I think the Jaguars will be able to control the clock with their ground attack, keep the defense fresh, and I think they'll be able to keep that game close at home. I could even see them pulling off the upset. I'm not going to pick it. I'm taking the Chiefs to win by about a field goal. But I could see the Jaguars actually pulling that upset week 1. I would not be shocked at all.
Oh, wow. Me and you see different ways on this game.
Next game we got up. Titans headed to Cleveland. Everybody loves Cleveland this year. They're the hottest ticket in town. They got our boy OBJ, Baker Mayfield, blah, blah, blah. Who do you like in this one? Decent spread there, 5.5 in Cleveland. Who do you like?
I think I've been saying this since the offseason. I think Tennessee is supremely underrated. I really like what Tennessee is doing. I know their offense, they have really, really bad offensive struggles. This is Marcus Mariota's contract year, so he needs to ball out. But this is going to be a test for both teams. Everybody has high expectations for Cleveland with all the acquisitions they had. Tennessee, they're looked at to possibly do something in AFC South. This is going to be a tough one. I spent a while thinking about this, but I think Tennessee is going to cover the spread here. I like Tennessee. Their defense was underrated last year. Nobody talked about them, but they were actually pretty good last year. Their offense is really the problem, but if they can get it going, they added A.J. Brown, they added Roger Saffold, and Derrick Henry's really coming into his own. He's really becoming that starter that they need him to be. And it all depends on Marcus Mariota, man. They have the pieces around him. Delaney Walker's healthy, Jonnu Smith. So I like Tennessee to cover the spread. Man, as far as them winning, I might have to say they win this game too. Win this game too. Yes.
I think they're going to win outright. Interesting. I'm going to agree with the pick. I like the Titans in this game with the 5.5 points. I think I'm picking Cleveland to win, but I like the Titans with the 5.5 points. They could win. They definitely could win. Mm-hmm. I think these teams are close to even. Everybody is jumping all over Cleveland because fantasy, Odell Beckham, Baker Mayfield, Njoku, blah, blah. And they got talent. They got talent on both sides of the ball. But they're still young. They're still unproven. I don't like Mariota. I do not like Mariota. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a huge year. We saw how good that Titans defense was last year. They shut us out when the Giants were on fire.
Underrated. Nobody talks about their defense.
Yeah. Dude. So I think they're going to be able to go in there and keep that game close, bare minimum. I'll say the Browns win by a field goal, but I think the Titans will cover the spread. I agree with you on that pick. Next game we got up. Another interesting game here. Rams on the road going to Carolina. Rams are favored on the road. A lot of road favorites this week by 3. Rams by 3 over the Carolina Panthers.
I know a lot of people are kind of taking a backseat with Los Angeles. They're not really high on them anymore. But I'm still high on Los Angeles. Now, do I think they're probably going to be the same thing as last year? Possibly. But Carolina is at a disarray right now with Cam Newton. They don't know if he's going to be healthy. He hurt himself in the preseason with, I believe it was his ankle or calf or something like that. But the dude has a lot of injuries. He's getting over a shoulder injury as well. He had a terrible last half of the season last year. That he started off great, but that injury occurred, and he just kept playing on it and kept playing on it until they benched him. Probably two games until the end of the season. And I don't think he's fully recovered. It's going to be a tough one. As far as who's going to keep it close, I still think Los Angeles is going to come out with the win here. I'm going to take the 3-point spread. I think it's pretty easy to say. I'm not believing in Carolina's offense. I never really have. As far as their ability to keep up in shootouts, I don't think they're going to keep up. They're going to keep up with Los Angeles if it becomes a shootout. So I'm going to take Los Angeles here minus the 3.
Carolina is a really interesting team to me this year. They're 2 years removed from a really good season. They won 11-5. I think they lost in the first round. Cam Newton had a great year 2 years ago. People might forget that. Last year, obviously, the injury problems. Cam Newton, when he's healthy, arguably top 5 quarterback. I mean, he's a great quarterback when he's healthy. Not your traditional quarterback, but the whole offense revolves around him. And if he's back to health, they are a team that could surprise people this year. But I agree with you. I don't think he is. I think he's going to struggle this year. I really do. I think he's had injury problems, and I think they're going to continue this year. I I don't trust them in this game. I don't trust them this season. I think Aaron Donald will clog up the middle. They'll limit McCaffrey in the running game. And that's the game right there. I think the Rams will win this game, and they're going to win it comfortably. I didn't pick this as one of my locks. I'm talking about the game now. I kind of wish I did. I think the Rams are going to cover that spread pretty easily. I think the Rams by 10 in this game. I like the Rams on the road fairly easily to win this game. Let's see what we got here. Next game up, we've got the Detroit Lions going to Arizona. Lions favored by 2.5. Decent game here. Decent game.
Yeah, it's a decent game. I'm actually interested to see. This is a good test for Arizona to see what they're going to be this year, because Detroit is not the worst team they'll face, and they're not the best team they'll face. They're right around their skill set. Now, I think Detroit's defense is a little underrated. I like what they're doing there. They're not quite there yet. I like what they're doing. It's going to be a good test for Arizona. A lot of people rag on me for being too high on Arizona this year. I like Arizona. I think they had one of the best, if not the best, drafts. I know they didn't draft any O-linemen, but I like the pieces they put around Kyler Murray. This is going to be a good test, but I'm still going to take Detroit minus 2.5. I could easily see Arizona coming out with the win here. They're at home. Detroit has to go from the east to the west, so I could easily see Arizona pulling off this win, but I'm going to take Detroit minus 2.5 just to be safe.
I'm going to agree with the pick, but I'm going to disagree with that you think it's going to be close. I think the Lions are going to blow their doors off. I don't believe in the Cardinals. I don't believe in Kyler Murray. I've been saying that for a while. I don't like that offensive line. Kyler Murray's looked weak in the preseason. The Lions' strength is up front on that defense. They get a great push up front. They can clog the middle. I think it spells trouble. You got the Lions' biggest strength is the Cardinals' biggest weakness. That is trouble in paradise in Arizona. I think they're going to eat up that offensive line, and I think their defense sucks. I think Stafford will play pretty well there.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Again, I kind of wish I made this a lot. I think the Lions are going to win that game pretty easily as well. I like the Lions there with the 2.5. I'm going to say 14 points. I'm going to say the Lions win by 14 points on the road. I do not like Arizona at all this year, and I actually like the Lions a lot. I like it's just a shame they're in the North. North is such a good division.
Yes, they're talented, man. I've been saying that for years now. You know, I like Matt Stafford. I like what they have over there. A lot of people don't like Matt Stafford. I like Matt Stafford.
Galloway's I think is going to have a big year there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
this guy, their running back, Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson.
He had a good season until he got put on IR.
Yeah,
you know?
They got an underrated team over there. It's just that they're in the North. That's what I worry about for them.
Mm-hmm.
Next game we've got up 9.5. So this ties the Eagles game. It's tied for the biggest spread of the week. The Seattle Seahawks are home, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Seahawks favored by 9.5 points. Who do you like?
This is very similar to what you think about the Detroit Lions versus the Arizona game. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to blow the doors off Cincinnati. Not high on Cincinnati whatsoever. Their starting guys look pretty good on their offense. Starting guys look pretty good in preseason, but that's just a preseason to me. But Seattle is getting their stuff together. I mean, I think by this time we have to start thinking Seattle like I don't think of them as Super Bowl contenders. I just think they're going to be a really good team. They're always a really good team. A lot of people sleep on them every year. They're gonna blow the doors off of Cincinnati. Cincinnati is not where where a lot of people want them to be. Andy Dalton, who knows what we're gonna get from him? Their defense is terrible. Drake Kirkpatrick never turned out the way he was supposed to turn out. They got some good pieces there. Their pass rushers, it's okay. They're getting a little older, but I can still see Seattle's just gonna blow them out, man. 9.5. I'm taking a 9.5 point spread.
This game is a joke. This should be a 20 point. Seattle is going to destroy.
I tried to give them a little something with their defensive line, a little something, but I can't see it.
Seattle just adds Clowney, one of the toughest places to play in the
league.
Oh yes, the 12th man in Seattle. Cincinnati, I said it last year, the fakest 6-win team in the history of the NFL. They had the worst defense in almost every category. No AJ Green. They're missing their best player. They're gonna limit Joe Mixon. The Bengals. 20 points. This should be a 20-point spread. The Seahawks are going to blow their doors off. I can't stand it. I hear some people tell me the Bengals are going to be a pretty good team this year. I don't see it at all. They'll be lucky if they win 4 games.
Only Bengals fans say that.
They'll be lucky if they win 4 games, and they're going to one of the toughest places to play in the league. Russell Wilson, this is a disaster waiting to happen. Seattle's going to blow their doors off.
And they lost Jonah Williams, so that doesn't help either. Jonah Williams out for their first-round pick, so.
Everything's going wrong in Cincinnati. Jesus.
Yes.
I thought Marvin Lewis was bad. They bring in his replacement. It's getting even worse. Okay. Next game we've got up. The Indianapolis Colts without Andrew Luck going across the country to the LA Chargers. Before the season started, you might have said, this is an AFC Championship preview.
Yep.
You know, now there's no Melvin Gordon. There's no Derwin James. There's no Andrew Luck. They're all missing their stars. What the hell's going on here? Chargers favored by 6.5. Who do you like?
I'm gonna say the Chargers by 6.5. I actually think it could be a 10-point game or even more than that. Indianapolis, they have a good team around them. The reason why, in past years when Andrew Luck wasn't there, their team was absolute garbage. They were terrible every year. I'm not going to say that Indianapolis is going to be as bad. I think they've gotten to the point where they were building on that defense, especially. I guess to prepare for Andrew Luck, him going down again. So they've gotten better all around the football, all around on offense and defense. So I think they're going to be a little better than we think. I don't think Los Angeles is going to blow them out the water. I think it'll be closer than we think. I'm gonna favor here the Chargers 6.5 points.
I was leaning Chargers actually with this pick, and then I thought about it. I said,
oh man, Jacoby Brissett?
I don't like Brissett. I do not like Brissett. Chargers are a little banged up though. Melvin Gordon's out.
Yes,
James out.
True. Mm-hmm.
The Colts still have the best offensive line in the sport. Quentin Nelson.
Sure.
And I think they will be able to establish a ground game and keep it close. I don't think they'll win the game. I think they'll keep it within the 6.5. I think that offensive line will win that battle in the trenches. Marlon Mack maybe goes for 85, 90 yards. Maybe they win the time of possession. They keep it close. But in the end, I think the Chargers pull it out by about 4 to 6 points. But I think the Colts will narrowly cover the spread.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Next game we've got up. Our New York Football Giants.
Oh, man.
Going to the House of Horrors. Dallas Cowboys were 1-5 the last 6 times we played there. They've won the last 4 matches overall. 7-point spread. Cowboys favored by a touchdown. What do you think?
This kills me, man. This kills me, but I have to take the spread. I mean, if Ezekiel Elliott wasn't there and we have to face Tony Pollard, yes, I mean, Tony Pollard is good behind that offensive line. What running back isn't good behind that offensive line? I would have gave the Giants a chance. And even in my season predictions, I put the Giants winning because I didn't think Ezekiel Elliott was going to play. But now that Ezekiel Elliott is back, he's going to be motivated. He got his payday. He definitely has to prove it to the fans, too, that he really wants to be a Cowboy. So I think he's going to possibly go off on our defense. Now, our defense is strong against the run. I will give them that. We have Dexter Lawrence, B.J. Hill, Dalvin Tomlinson, and a couple of guys on the linebacking core that can stuff the run. Ryan Conley's been great at doing that. So I have to take Dallas still with the points. I can't see us winning in any fashion right now. I just really can't. I'm gonna say Dallas -7.
Call me a homer, Kid Blue. I'm taking the Giants. I'm not saying I'm taking them to win the game. I'm not saying I'm taking them to win the game. I'm taking the Giants to cover the spread. I said in my preview video today, 23-17. So it's a narrow cover at 6. But for the reason you just said, the Giants, I think, are going to have a strong front of that defense this year with the 3 D tackles they got up there with Tomlinson, with Hill, with the big fella Dexter Lawrence. And I think they'll be able to do enough damage up there, not to stop Zeke, but to contain him. Maybe get Dak in those 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 situations more often than not. And that's when he struggles. I think I found the stat. He was like 22nd last year in 3rd and long situations when he has to complete a first down. So if the Giants can do that, they have a chance. All I'm hoping for in this game as a Giants fan, I want Eli Manning to have a chance with 2 minutes to go, down by less than 7 points. Give me a chance. That's it. Let him. Let's get a chance because we can't realistically think we're going to win this game, being that it's in Dallas. If it was in New York, maybe Zeke comes out a little rusty. He didn't play in training camp. Didn't take the hits. Didn't play in the preseason.
Hope so.
Maybe he comes out a little rusty. You never know. But yeah, obviously Frederick back for the Cowboys. Great offensive line. They were 7-1 the second half with Cooper. Now they got Cooper for a full year. Yes. It's going to be very tough. Key matchup for me in that game, Janoris Jenkins versus Cooper. Has to contain him. Cannot get beat over the top. That is probably the biggest matchup on the defensive side of the football this week.
Yeah, I'm also really looking forward to seeing our run defense, man, because we're seeing all this talk, Dexter Lawrence, B.J. Hill, Dalvin Tomlinson, seeing all those 3 guys together. It's going to be a big test week 1.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait for Sunday. Get your popcorn ready. Next game up. Maybe the game of the week when you look at tradition. I mean, these 2 teams go at it every year, it seems, in the playoffs. Steelers going to New England. A lot of people down on the Steelers. Patriots favored by 5.5 at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you think?
See, I'm one of those people that are not high on the Steelers, but I did their season predictions, and I had them gain like 12 wins. I'm like, wait, I'm not supposed to like the Steelers, but I just found myself favoring them over and over and over again. So I think they'll be all right. I really love, what they did as far as replacing their star guys. Juju replacing Antonio, James Conner replacing Le'Veon Bell. So it's like nothing really happened. So I like what Pittsburgh is doing over there. Again, their defense is always a problem every single year. We'll see what happens there. But these two teams face each other all the time, whether it be the playoffs or the regular season. A lot of people always say, maybe Pittsburgh, this is their chance, I don't think they're going to win this game. I'm still going to have New England because I just think New England's the powerhouse right now. How can you choose against them right now? But I'm going to say Pittsburgh covers the spread. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be like maybe a 28-24 type game. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh with the points plus 5.5.
I'm a huge Pittsburgh guy this year. I really am.
Okay.
However, I'm taking New England to cover the spread. I'm a huge I'm a huge Pittsburgh guy this year. I think people are sleeping on them. I think James Conner demonstrated he can more than be sufficient in that role with Le'Veon Bell gone. I think Juju Smith is going to have a monster year. I think Ben is still a good quarterback. You still got a great coach over there. You got a great defense, arguably the best offensive line. People are sleeping on the Steelers. Everybody's jumping on the fantasy team over there in Cleveland. Don't sleep on the Steelers, people. I'll tell you that right now. But in this game, the Steelers, every time, like you just said, they play the Patriots. Yeah, they got a shot. The Patriots, they beat the hell out of them.
Always, every single year. And everybody's like, oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win this game this time.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Yeah, and it's in Foxborough.
Yes.
I think they win by at least a touchdown, so I will take the Patriots to cover that 5.5. But I could see it being close, like you said. And now we're going to go to Monday night. 2 Monday night games. Opening week always is. And we got 2 good ones. We really do. The Texans at New Orleans. Texans made a couple of trades right before the season started. Interesting stuff. And obviously New Orleans always very good at home. This should be a high-scoring affair, I would think. Should be a fun game. Who do you like in this one? 7-point spread.
Here's the thing. I probably would have had this a little closer had Houston not really look terrible in what they're doing right now. They're not organizing their team the way they should be. So I think that's going to affect how the team plays overall. But Houston is a good team. I think New Orleans is still going to be the Super Bowl favorites for me in the NFC, possibly. Yeah, they are my Super Bowl favorites right now. So I think there's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. But I'm going to say New Orleans covers the spread at 7. I think they'll still be able to at least win a game by a touchdown, but I think they're going to go back and forth, from the first quarter to maybe the third way, halfway through the third quarter, and just fly by in the fourth quarter. I think New Orleans will come out on top. Well, I got New Orleans with the 7-point spread.
New Orleans, everybody knows they are great at home. I think they were 7-1 last year. Drew Brees threw 22 touchdowns there, 1 interception last year at home. He's ridiculous. He's a machine.
He's great.
In the dome. He's ridiculous. And a lot of turnover there in Houston right before the season started. Tons are still getting adjusted to the new offensive line, right? They get rid of Jadeveon Clowney. A lot of turnover right before the season started. Not to mention, Houston last year, as good as they did, they started off really slowly. They started off really slowly. They lost to the Giants, Week 3, week 4, whatever it was.
We were 0-2 or 0-3 when they were our first win.
Yeah, and they started off really slow. And taking all that into account, turnover on the roster, I think it'll take a few weeks to get in rhythm. You're going to the toughest place to play in the world, other than maybe Seattle, in the Superdome. I think New Orleans is going to win by 14 at least. I think New Orleans is going to
Okay, so you're with me, You're with me that they're going to, handle the...
Yeah, and like you said, I got the Saints going to the Super Bowl this year. I think they've been the best team in football over the last 2 years. They've just run into some bad luck.
They've just been unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. As far as both sides of football go, that ever since they fixed their defense up, that's when they really been looked at. Because their offense has always been good with Drew Brees there. It was the defense that was the big problem all these years.
And the running game. They got the running game, finally.
Exactly. So, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Best trio in football. You'd agree? Michael Thomas, Kamara, and Brees?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Not even close.
And now we got our final game. It's a pick'em and one of the best rivalries in football. AFC West rivalry. The new look Oakland Raiders, soon to be Las Vegas Raiders, at home, taking on the Denver Broncos. The Raiders bringing all these personalities, these free agents.
Yes.
They're on Hard Knocks. I don't even watch it. I don't want to watch it. I don't even want to watch the first 2 episodes. I said enough.
Yeah.
But who do you like in this game?
one thing I have to say is the Raiders suck. I hate the Raiders. They are garbage. Their draft was horrendous. They drafted terribly 2 years in a row. I don't know what the hell John Gruden is doing. He's just rolling in that $100 million there that he got, but they are really trending down. I mean, they got a bunch of these developmental players. They're really trying to like take risk and get these developmental players with a lot of personality. We know with a lot of teams, you can't build a team and have them win with a bunch of those different personalities there. Jonathan Abrams is he's a nuisance. You've seen on Hard Knocks the few episodes I watched. Antonio Brown with his situation. I think there's just too much distractions. And Denver, I'm really high on Denver this year. Maybe a lot of people aren't. I'm not high on Joe Flacco, but I am high on the Denver Broncos. I actually have them sneaking into the playoffs this year.
Wow.
Just barely, yes. I have them going 9-7 and sneaking into the playoffs. But I'm gonna take Denver here. This is a rivalry game, so it's usually close between these two. But I'm gonna take Denver here in the pick'em. Depends on how much they're gonna win by. I'll probably say 5-6 points.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like Denver's defense. One of the best pass rushing duos in the league, right? Between Miller and Chubb. Great
Nasty,
dynamic
man.
there.
Nasty.
They were my surprise team last year. They burnt me. I said they were going to make the playoffs last year. They won 6 games. Disappointing. Case Keenum, we know the story. Flacco actually think could do well there in the thin air in Denver. He's got the big arm. They've got some nice young talented receivers. Cortland Sutton. They got some talented young receivers. They got
and running backs. Their backs are great.
They got some good. They got some talent.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders are at home though. But I agree with everything you said. Potential combustible locker room. They reached on a lot of their picks. Jacobs, I think, could be a nice running back. Calais Farrell was a reach at 4, no doubt about it. So I'm gonna take the Raiders because they're at home. I don't love either team. I like the Broncos more, but because it's in Oakland, I think they're gonna split this year. So I'm gonna give Oakland a narrow victory week 1.
Gotcha. All right.
So that does it, man. That wraps it up. And now we're going to give you guys our 3 locks. And then at the conclusion of this next week, we'll show you how we did the first week. We'll show you how we did with our locks. And, we'll go a week-by-week basis. It's going to be a fun competition.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So tell me right now, who were your 3 locks?
All right. So my first lock, because I just thought the spread was ridiculous. I didn't like the spread. Kansas City at Jacksonville. I think they're going to cover that 4-point spread. Whether it be by a touchdown or 2 touchdowns, I think they're going to cover the 4-point spread. My next lock is Los Angeles at Carolina. I'm really not liking Carolina right now. Like I said, with the whole Cam Newton situation, I just think it's not going to fare well if they get into a shootout with Los Angeles. I think they're too good. Los Angeles is just too good. And my third lock, I'm going to have New Orleans as my third lock at Houston. I know it's tough. I got a little risky, but I still think New Orleans is going to win towards the end of the game by at least 7.
I don't hate that lock. I was thinking about that one. I don't hate that lock. My first lock, biggest spread of the week, Seattle. I think they're going to blow the Bengals' doors off. That is a lock for me. If it was 19.5, I'd take the Seahawks. 9.5.
42 points.
9.5. It's a lock. I love Seattle there. Bet the house on it. You have the entertainer stamp of approval. The Seahawks will cover that spread at home. So I love that game. I took the 49ers, even though it's on the road. Hate picking road teams. But I do like the 49ers a lot. Arians, yes, I know they got an offense, but that Bucs defense sucks. I don't believe in them. I like the linebacker they drafted over there, but they lose Quan Alexander anyway. It's kind of like a wash.
Yes.
I don't see it there.
Worst secondary in the league.
Yeah.
By far.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. And even though they're on the road, I like the 49ers there as a lock. And then my last one, I was kind of up in the air on this. I was thinking Ravens versus the Dolphins, but again, I didn't want to pick another road team. So I stayed away from that one. My last lock, oh, man, I'm kind of between like 3 teams right now. But I am going to go.
Get risky.
All right, my third lock, I'll go with. Oh, man. This is a tough one. I'll go. All right. I'll go. I want to do a different one than you, so I'm not going to pick the Saints. I'll go Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to cover that spread versus the Steelers. So I will go Patriots. I will go Seahawks. And I will go 49ers. Those are my 3 locks of the week. We'll see how we do next week.
Awesome, man. Man, I'm excited to see who comes out on top here. I'm confident in my locks. Some of the spreads I could see going different ways, but we'll see what happens.
I had a great time, man. By the way, if
Yeah.
anybody stuck around for the full 40 minutes, thank you very much. I'll shout his channel out again. If you have not done so, please go into the link in the description and sub up. Kid Blue, he's got a great channel over there. Great Giants YouTuber. Does broad NFL as well. You will not regret it going over there. And I want to say again, thank you for coming on.
And thank you for having me on. I want to say that again.
Thank you. All right. Have a good one, guys.